place pretty much all night, to be honest.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Rolex 24 again. We've got 2.5 hours to go. We're going to catch all the action right here in the stands. Coming into turn one, coming out of the pits. We're going to see the battle throughout the entire track. We've got several cars still on the lead lap in all classes. Let's go.
Yeah, it's quite an alliance. I wonder if they used that front. I wonder if they used that front section we saw the other day.
Yeah, on the back of the Ford pickup. Jeremy, we've done all the points. We've awarded all the points for Mitchell Endurance Cup in terms of the interim points. Have they been posted yet? Have we got?
Oh yeah, I've got those. But the L1 Masters Motorsports, they've won the Michelin Endurance Cup 5 times.
Right.
Over the course of the last 7 or 8 years. So very much to you had to do that. Check out the points in the Michelin Endurance Cup. After 3 of the 4 segments then, in GTP, Wooten Engineering, surprisingly, just about every year, had 14 points to the 11 to number 7 car. In manufacturers, it's a bit closer, 14 for Cadillac, 13 for Porsche. It's really between those two. In LMP2, after the 18-hour mark, once you ordered 6 hours, 12 hours, 18 hours, and at the end of the race, in LMP2, Project Racing by APR number 04 car has 13 points to the 11 of Inter Europol PR1 and the 10 of Aero Motorsport, so that's very, very open. In GTD Pro, Paul Miller Racing has 12 points, that's kind of a 1. And then Luis Competizione and Ford Multimatic Motorsports have had since their problems. They were tied on 9, actually along with Corvette Racing with Pratt Miller Motorsports number 4 car, which also had problems. That was on 9 as well. So it's really now between number 1 and 62. The manufacturers of GT Pro, 12 points for BMW, 11 for Corvette. And then finally GTD. Quarter of Preston Motorsports and Inception Racing, number 32 and number 70, were tied at the 18-hour mark. The 70 car has had some difficulties later in the race, so the odds now are in favour of the Quarter of Preston team, which won the EMC last year. Trials Competizione also have a really good race so far, 9 points for them. And the manufacturers of GTD, Mercedes has 13 points, McLaren 11 and Ferrari 10.
Jeremy Shaw along with Peter Mackay and John Heindorf in the booth, Shea Adam and Nick Damon in the rotation for our crowd reporters. Essential. Thank you very much to Joe Bradley as well, already providing us with some fantastic information, some really good interviews this year. I said a month or two ago in the CrowdStrike Hospitality Room, I think we've got a very strong contender already for Race of the Year with this event so far. I think it's even more so for Event of the Year, Thursday, Friday. Saturday, Sunday, in terms of what we've seen on the track, it's been super exciting. Any of the races that we had here before the main race, it was worth the price of admission.
Oh, the 2 Mazda MX-5 Cup races, the Whelen Mazda MX-5 Cup were just thrilling from start to finish. They always are here at the Daytona International Speedway, but then one of the real... Was it the surprise package? I'm not sure. It was certainly a cracker of a motor race in the BMW M Endurance Challenge, which was one of the just with the most tense fuel mileage game, in which it ended up going to the way of the number 91 Kelly Oscar in an amazing final stint from Riley Dickinson, a proper sports car factory driver-esque final stint when you really need to be quick and use very little fuel. It was really impressive and well deserved.
Yeah. We've just read that if people haven't watched it.
Sorry. It's so worth it.
It is absolutely. But watching the play out.
Just a 10-second summary. That doesn't even come close, does it? No.
Indeed not. Absolutely not.
It doesn't spoil anything. It should make you just want to watch it more.
Whets the appetite. Indeed so. Meantime, talking about spoiler alert, that Ford Mustang is in the paddock garage, having a new rear deck and rear aerofoil fitted. 2 hours and 20 minutes to go. Yes.
Had problems with that rear deck and that Mustang because
all three of them now.
Yeah. That problem just never came up in testing. And yesterday, I think it was last night. They've done a lot of testing. But of course, they haven't run a whole bunch of cars running together.
And they haven't run into each other either. Like alongside.
Yeah, that's true too.
And you can't. Remember BMW had a tricky start, Jeremy, with the M4 GT3.
Yeah.
Again, that was. I mean, it was diffuser related rather than spoiler related. But you think you've done everything you can, but until you come to Daytona, you don't test a lot here at Daytona on the road courses. Don't do this test with there's other people out there when there's big gobs of tyre rubber offline and the drivers get tired driving across the grass, etc., and so on and so forth.
There's everything, can you?
Well, no, exactly. I take you back, dear listener and viewer, to Audi doing more testing than ever before they went to Le Mans. But then they chose not to race in the early rounds of the championship. They just went to Le Mans, and it was a wet Le Mans. And they'd not forgotten to do wet testing, but of course they hadn't done wet testing on a track with the odd of the cars. What they found was that their air intakes in the front, when rubber got in, it got damp and it expanded. It got blocked up, and they started overheating. It's just that little thing. The tent has gone behind the wall again. Wayne Taylor racing with that Acura, the blue and black car. And meantime, in this crowd striped board, a man of few words is something you can't say about Nick Damon, and always worth listening to is something you can say about Giuseppe Ricci.
Giuseppe, I won't jinx anything, obviously the car is going very, very well. You've had some struggles over the past few races in the Endurance Series. Is it a case of you knowing the 296 better now, or just the VOP's come back in your favour?
Well, the VOP is very important in this class, in the whole series. And I feel that this time it's probably being sort of uproar and fair about it.
There's a lot of adjustment to that, of course, after the Raw. You said that the manufacturers together had that conversation. Were you part of the conversation about that?
We've had a lot of conversations about it. It's something that all we asked for was a level playing field. And everyone doesn't just want a level playing field, and the rest were decided on the track.
It's almost like a contract. That serviceability must be a major advantage.
Yes, obviously it's a new family of Ferraris, but really it's okay. It's maybe a little more fragile. The 488 was a very good race car, very good car all around. But this car is, I think we've been able to iron out a lot of the little problems.
You know now we have our first privateer, 488P in WC there, of course. Are you going to run a 499 here?
The 499 is a very complex vehicle. As a privateer, it can be done, but it does require an awful lot of financial commitment to making that happen.
The only stopping you is finance, or is it a case you may have issues trying to get the hypercar working in the IMSA regulations?
I think we need to give at least 2 years for Ferrari to try and sort it out, and after they've done that, then financial wherewithal.
So it's safe to say that if Ferrari did come here, the car will be run by racing.
Yes, after 2 years. So Ferrari would have this whole season again. World Endurance Championship. And sort out all the problems that potentially the car would have. And then a privateer can take it on.
I get the impression this has happened, but have you actually been proper discussions with yourself and Ferrari?
No, not really. I've been with Ferrari for a very long time. A lot of things are said, but unsaid.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That is the most Giuseppe thing that could be said, and there's so much on. I'll have to go back and listen to that and unpack what Giuseppe said. You hear how Giuseppe Risi talks. He lists not one syllable, never mind one word. Measured is what Jeremy's just said in my ear. Thank you, Nick. Excellent DAYTONA CrowdStrike pit report. Ask the questions very politely. Giuseppe Risi considered, measured. That's very, very interesting. He has told us before that he would like to have that car. It seems that continues. Let's see where that goes to. We've got a VP Racing update coming in a moment. I want to catch up on one or two cars that haven't had the best of fortune overnight. At one stage, only cars that had numbers that were exactly divisible by 11 had been withdrawn from the race, and one of those was the number 66 Crugent car, the Acura, and Dylan Brennan is with us. Assess the situation, because the car qualified well with Cat Leg, it raced well with all three of your drivers. How's Daytona going to be when you do the washing?
Oh, it is. The car was great. We were very confident in terms of our strategy and the way we were reacting. We were proactive in terms of basically having a plan to that and not being worried. Even Cat at the start, I think I messaged you at the start, Cat, you know, in the crazy opening laps, and Cat got on the radio and said, if anybody wants to go underneath me, go ahead. I'm not playing these games.
It's only 23 hours and 42 minutes to go.
We're either with red or green number panels. Yeah. She everybody was on script. It was fantastic. It didn't matter if we were 9th or 12th, or as long as we were on the lead lap, and as long as we were just, and then even Tatiana really impressed us.
So what went wrong?
Electrical. It's one of those. And you know, the irony is that it seems to be always something that's never come up before, which is, you know, it's something where there's always things you can plan for, and there are things, and we found one or two bits and pieces that could have raised alarm bells on Friday night, which we attended to, and basically we belt and braces, but then this thing comes up. But I just want to say that with Tatiana in mind, kind of the larger picture about the Michelin tyre regulations.
Yeah, I think that's a sensation.
Yeah, I love it. I'd love to tell you why.
You know, alone, by the way, having electrical problems, a lot of teams have done. I'm led to believe, because she's just told me, so I'm not arguing with it. This will be the first DNF by an Acura here in this race, in GT3. Let's quickly run through the rundown before we start. In fact, we started to get some pit action, but it is Porsche from Porsche Penske Motorsport by 10 seconds. Matt Campbell in the 7th from Tom Blomqvist, and the Wheel and Engineering Cadillac, the red, and white number 31. Then it's the Wentela Racing number 40. That's because we've just had a works car and two of the customer Porsches in 585 and 6 all coming in, all on the end of the lead lap. In LMP2, the battle continues between Air and Motorsport. Connor Silic is being used up by Air and Motorsport. What a debut in LMP2 for the young former Mazda MX-5 racer, or still Mazda MX-5 racer, also going to be doing some Xfinity this year. He's up against Colin Brown in this stint. Well, Colin, we know everything about the CrowdStrike racing by Algarve Pro Racing is now just 9.5 seconds back, with Pietro Fittipaldi in the Europol by Piero Matheson in third. Pietro's done a lot of work as well in the second half of the race. In GTD Pro, we've got Alessandro Pagini for Risi by 13.5 seconds from Brian Sellers in the red, white, and black Formula Racing car, and Michael Christensen in third is just off the lead lap in the 77 EO Racing Porsche GTD. Wins by 24 seconds, and a cracking battle behind the 57 with Vassar Sullivan and Aaron Taylor to the number 12 Lexus, just 0.8 of a second away from Kai Cozzolino and the 296 Ferrari of AF Porsche, the number 21 car, and then just a second further back is Maxi Goetz for Korkov Preston in the number 32 Mercedes AMG GT3. VP Racing in race update. Nick Damon will take a quick catch up with you before we move on.
Yeah, so we're going on here. The stops obviously were the 40 car, which was Acura, the red one. Conhead got out, and they've also only took the right side tyres. Just had the 31 Green Energy Cadillac, that's come in, and that has taken 4 tyres but not changed the driver. 4 tyres as well for the number 6, which is recovering from that over about an hour and a half ago. Any second now we're going to have the leader, the number 7 car coming as well. The 2 customer cars, I'm just going to get out of my sight, but I do think they all both took 4 tyres.
Just exchange positions as well. Official retirement now with the Ford number 65 added to the retirement list. Just Nick Damon, stand by for action. You've got the leader, the number 7 Porsche with you.
And they roll in, and despite the fact that immediately taking it out gets Matty Campbell, so it's driver replacement. I haven't got the total memory of a Porsche helmet as young Shaden has, so I'll just say another driver got in. You'll find out soon enough, you'll check the ID at the end of the game. No, sorry, just again, right side tyres only for the 7. So we will have those away, and now they're having a bit of a check. But hang on, that is all 4 tyres, sorry. I looked there so fast on the left hand. I looked in, very convenient, the holes on top of the wheel arches, let me go on that one. So effectively the Porsche mechanics were so fast, they missed him changing 2 tyres. Not like that they ever quick fit, that's for sure. And there we go, away, as you heard it, away on electrical power, then fired up. And that was your leader, and I saw nothing within that stop to prevent you from still being your leader.
Nick Damon in the pit lane. This is very evocative for me, seeing these red, white, black Porsches doing Porsche things. We've still got Declan Brennan with us, and I've asked him this today actually because I want him to just expand on those tyre rules. Every year we ask the teams, or him to ask the teams to do as much, if not more, with less resources. Tyres being a significant one. We had Michelin talking about that earlier in the race, and you're a fan of that, and the team are a fan of that. Why?
Well, I'm particularly a fan of it because it just adds an element of what should be driver skills. You know, we were always talking about what we need to do to put performance back into the hands of the drivers. And although, as I'll expand on in a second, that still has some technology to help it. But I'll give you a perfect example. Tatiana got in her first, maybe her second stint. She had the double cylinder tyres, and that was going to be, it was obvious that it was made clear that all the drivers were going to have to kind of do that at some point. So you were sacrificing your performance somewhat, and you were there to effectively stay in the lead lap, stay in contention, use up the tyres, save the tyres, and she was hanging on at the end. Like hanging on, and obviously, and Andrews was brilliant on the radio, telling her like, let's work with the traction control, let's do what we can just to but so there is some, but effectively you are still it's a driver skill issue as to do it. Yeah, you've got to be able to feel it and get what the most, and I love it because it's kind of, it's a game one way or the other if you decide to keep putting your tires on.
toes.
Yeah, come the end of the race, what are you going to do? You know, and this is...
Well, it's the essence of endurance. The drivers who can save a bit of fuel or save a bit of tyre, they should be rewarded.
Absolutely. And I don't know if this is part of it or not, but a little cameo from about 2 hours ago when the 7 Porsche with Nasser in it came in, and the 31 came in 4 seconds behind.
Yeah.
Manny Campbell got in, and Aiken got in, and they came out 4 seconds apart, and Aiken, within 2 laps, had the lead down to under a second, and it wasn't traffic.
Yeah.
And I'm in my head, I'm thinking, okay, is the Porsche taking longer to get up to temp?
Yeah.
Did they put all tires on?
Yeah.
It's all the stuff that the things you don't necessarily know, and I'm just wondering whether or not if we have like a money dash at the end of, you know, if everybody comes in with a couple of laps to go and puts on fresh tires, then does it become a case of whose tires getting the temperature fast enough? You know, who's willing, and here's the Jorge Lorenzo thing, are you willing to push harder on cold tires knowing that somebody else won't?
Yeah.
That was Jorge Lorenzo's mantra, and why he won as much was because he had the ability to push harder on cold tires.
We send our best to Agnes and the rest of the team.
He's packing up down there right now. He's probably listening.
Look, mate, it's the roll of the dice. Sometimes it's called endurance racing, not endurance winning. I don't think your team needs a lot of character building, but you move on, you learn, and we'll see you at Sebring.
Yeah, we had a really fast car, really fast. That's obviously the most disappointing part. I think it just kind of, you know, just heightens up the desire,
The expectation.
and more the desire to show what we actually can do at Sebring.
So they're taking the best of the team.
Oh, my God.
Captain, Sheila and the rest. Declan Brennan from Gradient Racing. Let's go to shoot Adam in the pit lane.
Well, earlier on in the race, there was an issue with the LMP2 Porsche. This is the number 86 machine that caused background there in order to take it to the checkered flag. It started suffering from misfires and was missing some power. This was very early on in the race. I just heard it go through the tri-oval. It was struggling, John. You need to keep an eye on that car. That could cause a caution.
Thank you, Shay. Now, there's been a change at the front of GTD, although it's a change that's coming around with the pit stop. We've got 57, in GTD Pro. Pierre Guidi has got the lead. Brian Sellers in the number 1 BMW is struggling with that car, and we're hearing from the pit wall it is brake problems for the number 1 car, who've now dropped back to 15 seconds away from Alessandro Perguidi in that GTD Pro leader.
Yeah, about 20 laps ago, the gap between the 62 car and number 1 car was about 11 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's gone out just a little bit. Particularly actually in the last few laps, it's certainly gone out a little bit more. But you know, they are well clear now of that number 77 Porsche.
Is that off the lap
between
then?
those two. Yeah, I think it is just about. Yeah. But the BMW's been similar speeds to the Ferrari up front, and we just have to see what the next couple of laps, see what they bring, whether Sellers loses a little more time. Lost a couple of laps on the last lap. Let's see what happens this time around as well.
Well, I think what can this time around is going to come into the pits because most of the team are on the wall, and there are 2 very nice, fresh rotors, pads, and calipers. Dry brakes, be pretty quick installation. You'll see all these super fast changeovers, hopefully. So the 1 car, they wait for it to come in, and then there's a time every lap. There's no point really extending it unless they're very much on the edge of a certain number of fills to get to the end of it, run to the green. The Lollipop Man is getting great going in full really fashion. And we'll have him, when they come in, I'll have a chat. It's a Brooksy apparently. Okay. Well, there we are. So he's you can use his imagination. There we are. I've just realised I've been flaking 2 films tonight. Because Lollipop Land is the Wizard of Oz. And obviously I was doing really wonderful, so I'm going to have to go and revise my sweet-based songs from films.
Very disappointed in you, Nick, on that one.
The number 1 car doesn't need to come in right now, but I think what they're doing, they're coming in now with 2 hours remaining. I think from here they can get to the end of the race with just one more pit stop.
Totally agree. And as they're starting to find brake issues, maybe they feel it's not worth waiting for. They haven't come in this time, but they are ready with a new set of brakes for that car. Hello to Terry Murphy in Canada. Due to be here, can't be this week. He's just started dialysis, and we feel for you, Terry. Have some experience of that in the family, so listening at home, all the best, mate, and hopefully you're feeling better soon. Glad we've been able to keep you in touch with what's going on in sound and vision. 70 Fahrenheit out there at the moment in the air. That is 21 Celsius, slightly more toasty, 30 Celsius, 86 Fahrenheit on the track. As here comes Brian Sellers and the Paul Miller BMW to a new set of brakes. And Nick Dunn.
I'd obviously much prefer me the new set of brakes. Okay, so car now comes in. All of us suddenly realised this car's got a brake problem, so they're all immediately took 4 steps back, thinking, why not just stop on its marks? It's got brake issues. Meandering around the back, just have a look at this damage on the rear right. There is not an awful lot left of the rear balance, you can say, on that right hand side. Just to show it's not the aerodynamic port you think it is. They've kind of used all the air by the time it gets back there. And I have to say, I'm not very impressed with some of the off on the right hand side. These are absolutely amazing. I did brakes and did this on Ash's car, which is in our bar. It took Paris 4 hours to do it. This has taken them, approximately about a minute at most. A dry brake system. Let's brake B-R-E-A-K, not B-R-A-K-E, brake complete. What it actually means is you have to go through the whole cleaning process, just disconnect the cable, put a new one in, and then when you reconnect it, keep brake pressure. That's with that cable, they're going to run over the cable, and they don't like doing that. Now, if the fuel's still going in, so I think they may have actually got those brakes done, not far off what they're going to do with the fuel. That's pretty impressive, pretty expensive as well. This is both incredibly expensive. That's all part of motor racing at the highest level. Motor racing down, still more fuel going, and this thing is being filled to the brim. And still going. Wow, this is a very good fuel. Dash away, no driver change, away goes the BMW M4, and that's surely to prevent this slow creep of drop off they had.
And whilst Nick was watching the brakes, there was a new driver in that car as well. Brian Sellers got out of the pit lane. Got out of the car rather, as the car is moving left and right to go through the exit. Possibly Sheldon van der Linde in that car. Let's see what it trips when it comes through. Difficult to see. Yes, it was. Shea Adams spotted that. Fair tune. And those are a set of brake discs that have been well used. I think they've had their value out of those, Nick Damon, down in the pit there. You might want to have a look still and warm your hands. I think that is only the first change.
I'm surprised they would make a brake change just with 2 hours to go, if that was the only brake that was going to make during the race.
Just hearing they did one about 2 a.m. in the middle of the night as well. Sorry, I missed that one.
Wow. So they did 12 hours in the first set and 7 hours in the second. It's curious.
But if you can do that within the time it takes to fill the car up with fuel, then you've lost nothing.
You've lost
It's
nothing.
incredible.
Yeah, they did. They had the front brakes off and the front tyres on, and then they did the rear tyres set at the Now, Nick's just telling me there's very uneven wear on the pads between right and left.
That's not good.
No. Oh, and straight on for that car with the new brake, Sheldon van der Linde. Oh, hang on, right front tyre's not fastened. The wheel and tyre on the right front is not on. that has not been correctly fastened. So my guess there is the brake disc hasn't been seated properly on that right front. And Sheldon, you need to slow down there, mate. Take it much easier. They've been on the phone to him and told him just that. He was in grave danger there of shedding the right front wheel, and it's still hanging on right on the end of the spindle. Now it pops back in as he's come down onto the apron. This is a disaster for Paul Miller Racing, who've been in the top 2 or 3 for the whole of the GTD Pro race, and that will be doing some damage to the hub itself. Nick Damon hasn't moved that far. Van der Linde back into the pit lane. Right front, Nick, is where the problem is.
And they've hopped over the wall. They're not looking at anything else. Right front is on, kicking. I think you're right. There might be a seating issue with the disc, John.
Yeah.
And that's been the problem. Now they're having to come out with some bolts and screws to get that. And what happens is they've actually got 2 bolts which effectively attach the disc in, which is then keyed on with a kind of a star key around it, so you get them to grip onto the braking. And obviously it's kind of you have the hub, you have the brake, you have the motor, and then you also eventually that then comes onto back of the wheels. If one punch too far out, it means that the single hub, central hub won't actually lock when it gets turned in. So it's unlucky to drop them that, which is never good. Obviously, they must have thought they are one. It's quite practical. If you've had a nut that's not go on properly, you often restrict it. Now, if they strip the hub, they are in terrible trouble. If you strip the hub, there's nothing you can do, and it's a very long process to get the whole hub off. So hopefully that's not happened.
Yeah, I think it has, Nick. I think he should strip at least part of that hub, that spindle.
So much. The last thing you want to hear at this point is the end of an air gun. It means it's just spinning, and every time it goes round on a slightly damaged spindle, it just makes it worse. And they're going to take that, and they're going to take it. The other problem they have now, if they get this working and fix it, this may be the last tyre they can change.
Correct. They can't get the gun off because it's gone so
deep.
It's
cross-threaded it, effectively.
It's gone so deep onto the hub.
Okay.
And they've cross-threaded it, so they're fouling the wheel. I tell you, that is not good, Nick. That is not good at all.
That right front, if it works, I reckon that right front's coming off for the final 2 hours. The one that's in damage is there's a score mark that goes down on pressure as well. So right, if you look on the inside of the alloy, it's been certainly the wrong angle. It's actually ground away the inside of the alloy. There's no way you're going to have the air kept in the tyre. It's leaked from inside from the wheel out rather than from
it's machine. It's effectively what you're saying here is the disc. As the wheel has come off, the disc is machined out a groove right through the wheel rim.
Yeah, with the caliper being the highest point, they've got it absolutely right there, John. It wasn't quite.
No, it's off. He's locked up. He's gone straight on.
That's it.
And there's pieces of metal filing coming out from the right front. I've got to tell you, I did not like that front wheel. It looked like there was an issue there, and Sheldon van der Linde, he's going very quickly into the kink here. He really needs to slow down. I suspect that right front wheel is going to do exactly the same again. The brake isn't doing what it should do. He's down at the far end of the circuit now. Oh, this is very worrying indeed. This started on his outlap into the bus stop chicane. They then couldn't get the right front disc, which had just been changed, that rotor. They couldn't get it to seat properly. There's 2 pegs on which that has to seat, and then as the wheel goes on, it holds it there. Van der Linde back up to speed again. Oh my goodness.
He's at least 2 laps behind now the Ferrari, 3 laps behind the Ferrari. So they're very, very costly. Most unfortunate for that Paul Miller Racing team. Boy, what a season they had in 2023 with 5 wins, dominant championships. They swept the board, won the Sprint Series, they won the Michelin Endurance Cup, they won the overall championship. And then, actually, not excuse me, they didn't win the Endurance Cup, did they? They won everything else. And it was a brilliant year, and it was looking so good here, boy. They've had a wonderful 22 hours. 2 hours to go. He's got a bit pear-shaped. I've been looking at this battle at the front of the field. It's been fascinating. Since the last round of pit stops, which came about 10 laps ago, between the two leaders, the gap came down from about 8 seconds or 9, almost 10 seconds it was before the round of pit stops, down to less than 6. But over the course of the last 4 laps, has extended again. Felipe Nasr clearly got the message. He's edging away now again from Tom Blomqvist. Delatraz in the best, or the only remaining Acura, is slipping farther and farther back here at a rapid rate. 26 seconds now. 27 seconds. He'd also like to complete lap 730 behind, and a big gap back to the three Porsches. Jimmy Bruni and Phil Hansen were exchanging positions after the round of pit stops, but lately Jimmy Bruni has got back past Phil Hansen, and Phil Hansen also has been passed on this last lap by Nick Tandy, who continues to charge hard in that number 6 Porsche. So the two Penske Porsche motorsport entries are looking very, very strong at the moment. Nick Tandy has got a fair bit of ground to make up on his teammate who leads the race, Felipe Nasr, following that error by Felipe on the outlaw a couple of hours ago, but he is absolutely flying.
Let's go to share Adam for a quick update from what's been happening at her end of pit lane.
Just had 2 LMP2 stops that were caused by damage. Riley came in, changed the tail section on the number 74, did fuel and tires while they were good. The number 8 for Tower Motorsport came in. Freddie Habsburg brought the car in with some serious right front damage. The headlamp was actually pushed well in. Good thing Tower had yet another nose. They put that on, they put Scotty Mack behind the wheel, sent him out with 4 new tires and a lot more fuel.
Oh, brilliant bit of remembrance here from Daniel Priest at the 2022 Nürburgring 24 Hours. Shelley von der Linden had a front sprinkler failure in the Rover BMW that sent them in the wall and out of the race. Amy Spindles and Sheldon don't get on. I had forgotten that. I'll tell you what, he'll be spinning in that car. Nick and I just, while Shane was talking there, passing backwards and forwards over the intercom, wondering if perhaps there's some damage to either wiring 4 or the ABS sensor itself, because they're still locking up that right front wheel at every opportunity. That is not good news for that car if it's going to get to the end in an hour and 50 minutes or thereabouts. Aero Motorsport into the pit lane. This looks entirely regular as far as the stop is concerned. Adam might be able to confirm.
It is entirely regular and entirely planned because Christian Rasmussen is getting in behind the wheel, taking over for Connor Zilic, who might be dead by this point, and Christian is expected to take it to the checkered flag. Also into the pit lane, the number 57 Woodward Racing Mercedes. Bill Ellis has gotten out, Daniel Morad has gotten in.
Down corner of the racing, and it's Brian. So that's Brian. Motor racing is a harsh mistress, and it's all going well as it doesn't. Can you first of all tell us why you need brakes so you in the race?
Well, we ended up somehow with a significant more amount of pad wear than we expected. It looked good all day, but maybe in the heat, we started to deteriorate the pad material. So basically that whole final stint I did was on no pad at all, like so much so that we cracked the rotors. Then we came in, tried to do the change, and I think it looks like maybe something happened with the right front. Obviously, that's what sent Sheldon off, and then when that happens, you have ABS failures and faults and lamps that set the whole system into shock. So it's just, yeah, it's frustrating.
This is for record. You had already changed the pads once, hadn't you, in the middle of the night?
Yeah, we had, and this is not a new problem for us. We've had this before. We've had it in the shorter races, shorter endurance races, sorry. So we thought we'd had it fixed, but apparently not. It's something that we've spent a lot of time looking into, but seemingly need to spend a little bit more time.
So our feeling is that to get to the end of the race, you won't be able to change that front right tire without having to go the whole 2 hours.
I hope not, because I don't think it was new to begin with. But yeah, if I was a betting man, I would say that's the case, judging by the way they had to lock that thing on there. So right now, it's just about trying to finish.
You mentioned ABS problem. You saw the wheel is locking up. So currently, is there no ABS on that wheel or no ABS on any of the wheels? Is it one take the whole system out?
No, we were able to reset it. The lamp is out now, so I think we're okay. So now we just got to see the thing for a podium, right? Because there's obviously no, at this point, multiple laps down this second, there's no chance for that. So just focus on trying to spray some champagne, I hope.
That's about it. You hit that podium. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you.
Very informative.
Brian's always that way, isn't he? He's very honest. I don't know, did you see his pragmatic there? I'm not sure. I think that is an issue that they've been grappling with, that car at Sebring, and Brian said it between them all as well. So, what a shame with just under 2 hours to go. But if they can drag that car to the finish, they should be rewarded with a
A couple of great battles going on in GTD. That was one of them. Frank Casalino now 30 seconds ahead. And more, 47 seconds ahead of Daniel Morad in second in GTD. It's a decent gap as well in GTD Pro, where Michael Christensen has just taken over Rexy, which means the outcoming driver can come top two showdown.
It's Michael Christensen who's just gotten out. Lauren Heinrich has taken over that, which is one of these two full season pairings, and they're looking to try and finish the season right where they started. So let me see where Michael's run off to, and I'll shout up when I've got him.
Had a great chat with the AO Racing crew on Saturday morning before the race, and in fact on Friday before the race, and Lauren with Semprio and Michael Christensen, and they planned to actually split up the different aspects. The pole lap was set by Semprio, Michael Christensen started the race, and Lauren Heinrich going in for the run to the end, and just by keeping their nose clean, they're second in GTD Pro at the moment. And anything happens to that easy Ferrari, you never know. Rexy could be getting a watch.
I just very quickly want to check in with Shea Adam while she's trying to track down the driver there. I'm right in saying, Shea, that we tracked the Tower Motorsport LMP2 car having to have two nose changes in relatively rapid succession.
Back-to-back pit stops, as a matter of fact. Yeah, John.
With a normal stint between them, and not as if they had to come in one lap afterwards.
It was not a very long stint. It was not the full length because of the damage to the nose.
Thank you. I thought I hadn't made that up. Jeremy, looking for a bit of information for his lap chart, which he is doing on his lap. Which is why it's called lap chart, of course. Let's go to Michael Christensen, who's with Shea Adam.
Michael, how much is left in Rexy for the end of this race?
We've been flat out all the time. We're definitely off pace here compared to the competition, but it showed that being clean throughout the race is paid off a bit here. But in the end, let's see, still some minutes to go. But yeah, it's been a tough ride, but we are very proud of where we're at the moment.
Big fan base cheering for you. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Just a slight hint of was that disappointment? Was it just tired?
Michael's a very soft-spoken person. He's a very contemplating guy. He's a really, really nice person. Is Michael, and a hugely decorated driver. He's won this race before 6 years ago with the Allegra team. He's won the Le Mans in the GTE Pro category in the Pink Pig with Kevin Estra and Lawrence Vantor and world champion. And what I get from that is that they have nothing left. For me, what I hear is they're saying that's all we've got.
That's all he had as well.
That's all he had. It's all Lawrence had. It's all Seb's had. It's all the cars had. And every bit of that team have done all they can. And sometimes in racing it's not enough, and sometimes it is. And we won't know until about 100 minutes from now.
That's a good point, actually. High noon at DAYTONA International Speedway as we go into the last 100 minutes of the 60-second Rolex 24 hours of Daytona. If you've been with us all the way through, well done you. It's the 107.9 FM transmitter, still ticking away nicely. Sirius XM channel 207 around the world on RS2, as well as our world video feed as well. And great thanks to NBC for allowing us to take over and give their guys a bit of a rest from a bit longer this year. We got 6 hours of the race from midnight to 6 a.m. Not often over here in the States we get to take over a national station. We'll be doing it in a few weeks' time in Australia for the Bathurst 12 hours. You'll be able to watch that here in the States, all live and free via the player at radiolemont.com, and of course the audio for everyone as well. Full coverage in about 22 days time, 3 days time of that. Very much looking forward to going to Bathurst again.
Should have had to leave right at the end of this race.
That is it. You know what, Jeremy? That's a very good point, and it's made a huge difference to a lot of drivers as well. I mean, the teams, if the teams are there, the cars are already on the way. But you're spot on. Bathurst and Supercars event to organise Bathurst, pushing it back a couple of weeks. Porsche and Porsche side by side. It's the number 85 of Phil Hansen with 6th place. Is it Phil Hansen still in 85? Yeah. Well, he was side by side with, I think, that must have been the leader. You put a lap on him. Yes, it was. It was Phil Hansen.
And the green is coming down, and quickly Tom Blomqvist has just set the best lap of the race for that car, 1:35.709, and it's just taken 2 seconds out of Felipe Nasr for the lead, so it's only 3.2 seconds the gap now at the front. This motor race is on. So, an hour and 38 minutes to go here in the 60-second Rolex 24 at Daytona, and too close to call, Jeremy, especially with the 31 Cadillac charging.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little while ago, the gap had come down, then it extended again, and then in the last 4 or 5 laps, Tom Blomqvist has really got the move on. As you said, you just said his best lap of the race, 1:35.709. Was that the fastest lap of the race?
I think not quite. No, I think that's the way of actually the car he's chasing, the 7 car, 1:35.605.
Yeah.
It's very tight.
Yeah, it is, and that was set about 100 laps to go by Felipe Nasr, lap 637, exactly 100 laps ago actually, lap 637 for Nasr, 1:35.605, 1:35.709, just on that last lap by Tom Blomqvist. And the number 85 car, Phil Hansen, was running really well the first part of the stint, but certainly struggling towards the end of it. And as you say, just fallen off the lead lap then to Felipe Nasr. Now, as Tom Blomqvist are right with him, less than a second between those two. So more than 2 seconds Tom Blomqvist made up on that last lap of 35, another 35.7 for Blomqvist. Wow, he is absolutely fine.
I think the heat is blowing into the hands of Cadillac here. 34 degrees Celsius track temperature now.
Must have been traffic then.
Yeah, also, yes, of course.
Super consistent Nasr, but all of a sudden that gap has come right now.
I totally agree with you as well on that one, Jerry, but I do think a lot of the Porsche drivers mentioned that they felt the car was better in the cool conditions, whereas it seems the Cadillac is good in everywhere, but it's not an exact science at all. And you're right, the traffic definitely playing a big factor.
Downshines, he just falling farther back, 37 seconds now. The gap from second to third, that gap has gone out by 10 seconds in the last 10 laps, 9 laps actually. So more than a second lap, but the accurate Downshines is losing to those 2 leaders.
Thanks to Shea Adam for her most recent stint in the Crowd Strike Pit Report Rotor. Joe Bradley is popping in to the pit-in end of things, where he stumbled upon a problem with the number 3 Corvette.
Yeah, I did. I have literally stumbled as well, the 3 Corvette. Now, and I have no idea what that was. So the number 3 Corvette pulled off and then stopped halfway off the apron and had to be pushed back to a tip. Nobody really did anything to it. Maybe it was a kind of a bit of a reset, but it's now underway. So that caused a bit of confusion.
Let's take an interview now from Nick Damon, who has got Kai Cosolino, who's been plying his trade with some aplomb, Nick, over the last 18 hours or so.
Kai, it's all smiles because less than 2 hours ago you brought the car in the lead. It's let's not count you, but it's been a great run for you personally.
Yeah, I mean, everything is going under control up until now. Our target was really to survive until the last 2 hours, so we really nursed the car, saved fuel, and now I went full banana, and we were P1, but I lost about 10 seconds because the gear got stuck at 2.5. Thank God we got it back in gear, and so just keeping fingers crossed until the end of the race.
How much has the car changed over the course of the 22 hours so far?
Yeah, we set the car up exactly for these last 2 hours, so we know that track evolution was going to be key, rubber, so we set the car that we could be fast here. Maybe in the night it was not fantastic, but anyway, everything is really thanks to all the Air Force guys. For me it was my first Daytona, but Simon, he let me get Francois, really, they taught me how to race this circuit, and I'm so grateful for everyone. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, mate. Back to the front of the field, John.
Because the lead is down to just on 2 seconds.
It's gone up. That's gone up. It's closer than that, yeah. So the Lundqvist car of quite a bit of time out of Nasser there at the front of the field, but it seems like the traffic is sort of ebbed and flowed back the way. Nasser 0.3 of a second quicker than Blomqvist last time by, but mind you, just in sector 1, Blomqvist has taken it straight back again.
Yeah, fascinating duel between these two. I'm wondering whether Nasser lost a little bit of time actually getting past the lap car of Phil Hansen, what is now the lap car of Phil Hansen, because Hansen wouldn't want to go a lap down in that JDC no sports entry.
They're desperately trying not to, aren't they? Everything they can.
But I'm wondering whether that was a little bit costly for the race leader. So it was a couple of laps over, it was 37 and 38, and laps 38. That's the lap on which Tom Lucas really did narrow the gap just to
Hello.
our legs.
We got an hour and a half to go.
So, coming down to 90 minutes, 2 seconds as we mentioned. I'm absolutely fascinated, gentlemen, by the way this race has ebbed and flowed through the daylight hours. Yeah, I would have liked to, lovely though they are, I would like to have seen slightly less of the Cadillac safety cars. But when you've had these long runs, it's fascinating, as I say, to see the swing of the pendulum from one manufacturer to another. It looked for all the world, Jeremy, earlier on, that the 31-wheel Cadillac was running away with this. As the temperatures have come up, as the clouds have cleared, they're not having everything their own way. Porsche came back into it overnight.
So the BMW for quite a while.
Well, for a long time, till they both bit the dust in the nighttime hours. Still, technical problems is what BMW Team RLL has said about that. Steering 24, gearbox oil 25, and I think it was the 24 where the toe rope snapped when it was coming back, which cost a little bit of extra time.
That's insult to injury,
well. This power steering, of course, nowadays is electrical, so that's electrons rather than fluid that weren't doing what they were meant to do. When those electrons get a mind of their own, that's when you're in real trouble, isn't it? Or when they start leaking electrons just as bad as leaking fluids.
So for all that can possibly understand what came on at the front of the field, Tom Lundqvist, this is a quick lap for Lundqvist. He's looking good on the splits as they come up towards the start-finish line. And the Danish just taking another 0.3 of a second out. The gap is down to just on a second.
Bit of clear road in front of them for a couple of corners if they can go by the right car. Here's the Porsche down the inside for Felipe Nasser. He gets through the international horseshoe. Every time I see that right Porsche, the number 120, who dutifully moves to the right hand side and allows Blomqvist through, that's actually really good driving. Just had to move cast width to the right hand side, you would go through. I like to say that, but every time I see that,
call from upstairs.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you've got the leaders. Don't mess it up.
Spoilers are so
Very good. Very good indeed. It's Jan Hiller behind the wheel, so he knows which way. Every time I see that car, though, all I can think of is the colour scheme we mentioned earlier on the there used to be on the lane at
Conrad
France.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of Garrison Enterprises, Ditmar Racing, John Fitzpatrick, take the white away, of course, but the blues are very similar.
Down to a second then at the front of the field. The chase is on. As we go under 90 minutes, we won't be changing ends at half time. This is a run all the way to the checkered flag now, with a little high cloud, but not much. So look out over the beautiful side of Daytona, and still that packed infield where the support races were on either side of the paddock. Now taking up with even more cars, hanging in with have taken over where the Whelen Master paddock were. They were packing them in there this morning.
Gap down to 3/4 of a second. Bloomquist takes another 3/10 out of Nasser for this battle for the lead. What a showdown this is between two of the top prototype race drivers in the world. Nasser, the ex-Formula One star, and he's right. There's no gap between them now. Bloomquist is right on the tailpipe of the number 7 Porsche, Felipe Nasser, for the race lead.
Nasser with 20% of his energy remaining. Blomqvist with 15. They accelerate up through the gears, 100 miles an hour, 120 miles an hour. My goodness, they pick up speed so quickly, over 150 miles an hour, now 170, 80, getting up towards 200 miles an hour before they break for the Le Mans chicane, and the gap is down to visual. Don't get the stopwatch out for this one. Target acquired by the young Brit with the Scandinavian name.
Yeah, and still pulling away from the Redelja second per lap. And
wow. Due the pit shortly, he's almost out of fuel and energy. Jimmy Bruni in 4th, down at 10% as well. Tandy down at 10%. That's the 6 cars to 1 that has had the issues, and he's in the pit lane. They're not risking it this time on those steep energy levels.
How does it be one stop to the end for them? One more stop, yes.
Basically, it's 45 minute stints from here, and I think they can't do that. You're right.
Well, the way things sit right now, the number 6 Porsche Penske Motorsport team would like a caution to bring them back into the picture, and then they've got the pace to fight, no question about it. They're right there, but who wants at the front? Well, we almost don't want a caution because this is just such a good battle to watch.
Yeah,
I'm being selfish.
Deltras in the pit lane.
Time now with an hour and a half to go now. This is hammer down. What have you got?
Deltras on the pit lane, getting forward service. We'll keep an eye on the front of the field, as that is a brand new set of Michelin medium combat. That's all you can use now. There was the option of overnight, there was the option of soft tyres from 7 o'clock last night till 8 o'clock this morning. I don't think anybody actually used them. We'll find out after the end of the race. I did not see any of the red stickers on the sidewalls in the stints that I did. Here comes Blomqvist, Joe Bradley.
Yeah, we were looking at this car's pace and thinking the car may have dropped pace since the sun came out. However, that really showed well against the Porsche. Blomqvist will stay in the wheel of the car for this one. He's getting, brand new sticky tyres from Michelin going on every corner of this car. Fueling going in, team just preparing the windscreen by putting a tear off, fiddling when you've got mechanics gloves on, maybe fingernails. Probably being pulled out the ducts in the front, fueling still going on. Thumbs up from the back. Remember giving Tom the signal when the fuel pulls away. There he goes. slick.
What's interesting there, Joe, is that again went off on the internal combustion engine. The Cadillac's been doing that pretty much for the second half of the race, I've noticed.
I reckon they're doing that to get more wheel spin and to generate more tire temperature. I do cooler burnouts as well, that's a nice bonus. But I wonder, have they found something where they find it's if you go off on the internal combustion engine, you generate more wheel spin and therefore more critical temperature in the tyre, in the rear tyre?
Yeah, I'll buy that for $1. It's as good an excuse and reason as anything. I just had news from race control of another retirement, this time the second retirement in GTP, and it is the Acura number 10 of Wayne Taylor Racing with Andretti Autosport. It's just the second of the GTP retirements among, you see, what has been quite an attritional race, to be honest. Five LMP2s now. Sean Creech's not coming back, I don't think. Two GTPs have been mentioned.
So on this stint, so John, the Porsche is going to go, well, at least 2 laps longer than the number 31 Whelen Cadillac. Last time around they came in together on lap, they were, well, 2 stops ago they came in together, that was lap 691. The next stops, they were 1 lap apart. 719 for number 31 car, 720 for the 7, so that was a 9-lap stint for the number 7 around. Looks like 7 cars going to stretch it 1 more lap as well. That's really rather interesting. That might explain why number 31 car was able to close in a bit, because he was running harder, using up a little bit more energy. Wait and see.
I think we've got 17 or 18 retirements at this point. Hi to Steve Tadman, says Danny Moran, please discuss not particularly well known on the world stage. Possibly if you're a sim racer, yes, but he's doing an amazing job. Top quality driving, in my opinion. I don't think you'll get any argument. So he's been one of my drivers of the race. I thought Matt Campbell in the middle of the night was absolutely stunning in the long stints.
Every time he's been in the car.
Connor Zilic has been, plugged in, used and abused in that car.
Christian Rasmussen has been fantastic.
How good have some of these young drivers been in the drivers who, this is the next generation we're talking about here, isn't it, gentlemen? With some of these young drivers again. Still again, did you say? Yeah. Tony Sowery, what about him in the crowd strike? I like that these Malthy Jakobsen. Well, we've known about Malthy for a while, but when Malthy brings his A game, he's as good as anybody, and he's brought his A+ game this weekend.
Yeah, he's been playing his trade in sports cars now for the last several years. The other two, Rasmussen and Zilic, 17 years old, for goodness sake. Rasmussen drove with this team last year, very, very impressive. They knew them, and he went. He's a star, no doubt about it. He won last year's next championship, he won the US 2000 championship in 2020. Back-to-back, he won the US 2000 championship. Last year, he won the Indian X as well. So here's a guy who's clearly on the rise. He's been driving this year in the MTT IndyCar Series. Watch out for him.
Joe Bradley has the leader in the pits.
Yes, he's finally come in. He's obviously Jeremy and all. He's looking at the tap on the shoulder. He's not getting out of the car though. We're going to see no driver change on the number 7 Porsche. The tyres already done and distant, just waiting for refueling. It's all very slick, and you know what? He knows this season. His guys have not to do that.
Fairly standard. Joe Bradley keeping an eye on it. That car calls out on electric power, and then the V8 twin turbocharged engine kicks in. pretty good shape, that 7 car actually. Had too many dings and scratches on it.
Looked after it well. He looked after it very,
It's
very
in the
well.
park, but Pete, isn't it? Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, no question about it. No question. Matt Campbell, Felipe Nasser, Joseph Newgarden, and Dane Cameron, the quartet there. Saw Joseph Newgarden in Keith the other day, where that we had fried chicken. But Joseph just walked up to it, looked at it. It was very tasty, wasn't it? And you could just see him going through his head like, that's BOP ballast on a plate right there. And he asked to have some grilled chicken instead, which of course the great team at Apex Catering did oblige. So I think that's the only difference really between Joseph Newgarden and us. I think we eat fried chicken and he doesn't.
I actually had the corn, that nice.
It looked nice too.
It was very good. That was Friday, if he was then.
Yes.
So he was thinking, that's half a tenth.
Yep. Maybe he can treat himself after the race.
For a moment, 131 scored as the leader, but only for a moment. Felipe Nasser goes through.
I don't think so, John.
That was just
It was a timing glitch. Because the number 7 car stayed out much longer, and he was better out of the lap ahead than the number 1 car, so he lose that advantage, so the glitch there on the time system. But as we came across the line last time around, this number 7 car going out of the pits, so it's a 3-second gap between that won't be reality.
brilliantly named Speedy McSpeedy says, I'm wondering why I've just watched the 62 Ferrari racing go by the pole-sitting 77 Porsche and the 77 was a Miata. Do you guys even know how the BOP broke? Well, Speedy, the BOP for this race was set by the manufacturers. IMSA do not do it, as we have the pass for the lead, side by side. Across the side-by-side round the first one, the Triazzi Ferrari, and Blomqvist knows how to get it done round the top side. That was extraordinary stuff. And what a big lock up from the Porsche in second. NASA somehow gets it, slows down, somehow gets it to the apex of the first hairpin.
And this is the difference with Blomqvist is on, his tyres are up to the temperature and pressure. Nasser's aren't yet, clearly, because Blomqvist was able to pass him very easily there, or relatively speaking, so we say, and moves into the lead of the motor race. Really interesting stuff at the front of the field, cat and mouse. Now what's fascinating for me,
he came from a long way back, he's in the draft, and I think Nasser kind of knows what he's got to do. He goes to the high side past the Iron Lynx car, and that is just grunt and aero. Then they had to split pass. I think that was the Triazzi car, wasn't it, that they went by. And once he gets ahead, you think, well,
it's more great.
Felipe's got to just ease off a little bit. He wasn't prepared to. He'd done some damage to his Michelin tyres, a bit of side drafting as well. Then they had to split round the 296.
That's more grip for the Cadillac one.
A
couple of laps warmer and up to temperature and pressure tyres.
Also see what happened when the Cadillac came right back in front of Felipe and Nasser. Nasser just had massive aero washes.
Yeah, definitely. What's fascinating for me is that Tom Blomqvist is the effectively third driver in that car. He's here for the endurance races, whereas Jack Aitken and Pico Durrani are the full season drivers. So, do you want to actually express, do you hear Venezuelan Cadillac? Do they leave Blomqvist into the end? Or do they put either Durrani or Aitken in at the pit stop?
So, vibration on the new set of tyres being reported by Felipe Nasser before the lockup. So is this a set of used tyres that they were brand new? They were brand new when they went back on.
They've all used up all their tyres they had to use up. They're all fresh tyres in the end. I'm 99% sure of that.
They've been kept in a locker with us, and the security goes on, you're not touching them until the end of the race, guys.
And the only question is, have they been just sort of scrubbed for a so perhaps just to get the edge off them? But I think we'll see. Crash, I think they reported that.
No, it was Joe, and they were shiny brand new.
So again in GTD, it's now for second position. Michael Grenier moving ahead of Miguel Mol and Albert Costa. So Mercedes ahead of the two Ferraris, running strong at this stage of the game. And Parker Thompson, number 12, Vasser Sullivan, Lexus, has been elbowed back now to 5th position in the class. Of course, the last short period of time.
What we are looking at now are, I kind of don't like this term, but it works. These are the money laps. These are laps that count. And it was Kai Cozolino about 45 minutes ago, talking to our crowd strike pit lane team, said, it's all been going with this. We've set the car up for the last 2 hours. You look at the weather forecast, Peter, you look at what the track temperature is going to be, and that's climbing. Already 35 Celsius, that's 95 Fahrenheit. In the same way as in my key to the race, Porsche keys to the race for Sebring, it will be get to the darkness and have the car do its best work in the dark. This is have your car do the best in the heat of the day, and those who've got it right here are reaping the benefits now. CrowdStrike car in with Nick Damon.
Yeah, it's a full service. They've also saved their tyres here, but they've changed drivers. Colin Brown's got out. Obviously, I've bet since he's got in, but it seems to thought Colin might be something to the end. Nope, he's out, and away goes the orange CrowdStrike car, and that's a CrowdStrike report about the CrowdStrike motor vehicle.
What's interesting about that point on the Ferrari setup, Kai Cozolino is in the 21AF Corsa Ferrari, is that they be fast in the first hour or two of the race, when it was very similar weather conditions.
That's a good point.
So that was where they made their biggest gains. Then they kind of settled in a little bit.
And Daniel Surra was amazing, wasn't it?
10 spaces in an hour?
Yeah,
10 spots in an hour? Incredible. So clearly they have a car that works in the heat.
Well remembered, Peter. Well remembered. How do you assess the Corvettes today? AWA have had a horror show, and the works supported Corvette racing by Pratt Miller.
Semi-factory, I'm going to call those.
Semi-factory.
Semi-factory.
So they're factory cars.
That's part of the GM family.
Is a semi-factory sort of a big building but without a roof? Is that?
It's got a bit of an air of Porsche Salzburg about it.
Yeah, it does. How do you assess that, being a brand new car?
I think that Corvette come to win always from the word go, and they'll be really disappointed. They'll be disappointed that the Pratt Miller cars haven't run cleanly, and they'll be disappointed that the two customer cars haven't either. But it's a brand new car, it's a ground up.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's his first race for that car, but of course they were testing here just a couple of days after last year's Rolex 24, so they've been on the case of this car for an entire year and more.
We've got just under a month before TF Sport take to the track in Qatar for the FIA World Endurance Championship. Tom Ferrier is a very shrewd cookie. I'll be interested to see how they go in the shakedown in the prologue.
They've got work to do. They'll want to do a lot of mileage, I think, because Qatar weather. What time of day is the race?
It's a good question.
Because if it's during the day, that'll be a lot more intense than this.
It's a long race. It's 1,800 kilometres. So it'll go to, I think it'll go to 8 hours possibly, and so I'm assuming it'll finish in the dark, start in the daytime. That's 2 races away and 3 events away, so I haven't quite started looking at the timetable for that just yet. But there'll be a bit of debriefing to do.
What I would add, and what I would put very good money on if I were a betting man, is they'll get it right sooner rather than later. Yeah. They always do. They've got the C5 Corvette, which they launched the era of Corvette racing. They got it down in the Chevrolet hospitality area. Every single edition, C5, C6, C7, C8, they've all.
Very short stint there for the LMP2 class leading Euro Motorsport entry. Christian Rasmussen's just left the pit lane. He was only on pit lane 10 laps ago, so that's way short. And he's going to give up the lead, I think, to the 04 car.
at the back time, do you think?
Crowd
I was just in the pits, wasn't it?
Yeah, CrowdStrike is
Okay,
it
so
goes on tower.
thing.
Can they go for an hour and 10?
No, well that's probably two stints exactly.
Okay.
Short stints or flat out stints.
Maybe that's why they want to get on strategy with the 04 CrowdStrike car in LMP2 and then go on full rich, full flat out.
Nick Dearman is down at tower. Any bodywork changes this time, Nick?
No, they're happy with both the front deck and the nose situation. I think what's happened is the P2 cars, they pulled the pin on when they can get there on one fuel shot. They're all putting 4 new boots on. So my guess is they're going to come in and get to there's a new rear deck going on the Bradley car. And there's a new rear deck going on the 99 AO Dragon machine as well. But it was the leader itself, which of course is the 18 era car, still Ramsey stayed on board, that just got some new tyres. So, I think they're now basically they're not banking on seeing any yellow flags.
Yeah, my mistake. I misread that. So that's about right. All of the LMP2 guys have just been here now, and there'll be one more stop to go from here.
Chris Stewart says, loving the broadcast, sim racers everywhere, pulling for Daniel Moran. Shout out to team in proper. Doug. He's doing rather well in Full Metal Racing, is Daniel Moran, being one of the stars of this. Forget, we've got broadcast team, we've got our BDO News Strategy Awards for the end of the race, and it's time for a VP race update. Let's take it from the top. And this battle continues. 3.4 seconds, that's as big as it's been for some time. Tom Blomqvist taking the lead in an audacious manoeuvre after the pit stops as Felipe Nasser is still getting his Michelin tyres on the Porsche up to temperature and pressure. So it is the 31 Cadillac that leads from the 7 Porsche in 3.5 seconds. Then a full minute further back, Louis Delatraz for number 40 Acura, the Wayne Taylor Racing with Andretti Autosport car. It's the blue and dark red car. Matty Jaminet, Porsche Penske Motorsport number 6 is a further 31 seconds back and 5 seconds ahead of Jimmy Bruni in the bright yellow, in the black and gold Pro-Log competition. It's the bright yellow the JTC Miller Motorsport, a couple of laps further back for Richard Westbrook in 6th, Nick Yellerly in 7th for the first, the BMW Team RLLs. They are about 90 seconds apart, the 25 and the 24 car, but still running. In LMP2, the era CrowdStrike Racing battle just eased for a moment as if somebody's turned it down off the boil to a mere simmer, as it's about 15 seconds. Christian Rasmussen's just gone through. Yeah, 15.8 seconds. Tom Dillman just coming out the pits in 3rd in the Inter-Europol by PR1. No, sorry, he's not coming out the pits, he's just driving around quite nicely. This is the 52 car. Then another 23 seconds further back, Felipe Fraga for Riley, the Ranch 74 car, number 74. Scott McLaughlin for Tower. It is another 11 seconds further back, but still on the lead lap in class in that number 8 Tower Motorsports machine. GTD Pro Racing Competizione has come to the fore. They were hot in the early running and the heat of the day, and as it's warmed up here, so has their pace. The 62 Risi Ferrari then ahead of Lauren Heinrich, another sim racer, A1 Racing Porsche, and the BMW M4 GT3 of Sheldon von der Linde after the brake problems. Still in 3rd place in GTD Pro. In GTD, really interesting. Daniel Morad leads by 30 seconds. Win with Mercedes from Albert Costa for Conquest, who's got Miguel Molina in another Ferrari 296 behind, the 21 by 3/10 of a second, so 57, 34 and 21. Then it's Mick Grenier, another 2 seconds further back. And Parker Thompson and Scott Andrews make up the top 6. And the Ferraris, Jeremy, are absolutely flying in the heat of the day in both GTD Pro and GTD.
Yeah, they are indeed. Number 34 and number 21, they've been moving up steadily now over the course of the last hour or two. Really into their stride now. The question is, can they catch that Winwood Mercedes? 30 seconds that gap. It was 35 not long ago, maybe 10 laps ago. But they're closing in. They're certainly closing in. The two Ferraris there. Number 34 car, the Conquest Racing entry for with Albert Costa in the wheel of that car at the moment. He passed Miguel Molina somewhere going a few laps ago to move into second position. And then they both of them got past Michael Grenier's Mercedes one time before that. Parker Thompson doesn't seem to have the pace in that Lexus in the later stages that we showed earlier in the race, and of course in qualifying, because it was Parker who put that car on a pole 2 years ago. Parker was spotted here for one of the teams, and here he is 2 years later. He was on the pole position, and led a good portion of that car, led a good portion of the early stages of the first half race, and much of it.
Problem for, well, potential problem incoming for car number 6, Mathieu Jaminet, on the lead lap right now, but maybe not for long, because Tom Blomqvist is chasing down Mathieu Jaminet in that number 6 Porsche. So if Blomqvist goes by, they are off the lead lap. So if the number 6 Porsche wants to win this race, they cannot afford to lose this position, and also can do their teammate a big favour here, because the harder that Mathieu Jaminet fights this, it will slow Blomqvist up and allow NASA to catch up. So Porsche Penske Motorsport, by virtue of having 2 cars in the general hunt here, definitely playing in their favour. Oh, mistake for Blomqvist. Sorry, Jeremy. Massive mistake. Big chink at the international horsery there for Blomqvist. That was a strange one.
Lost the car completely there as he tried to get on the path coming out the international horseshoe.
So they've put a lap, not only Richard Westbrook, actually I think a couple of laps back now, but Jimmy Green also has gone a lap down. Then Mathieu Jaminet struggling to stay on the lead lap. As you said, he doesn't seem to have the pace of the number 6 car, doesn't seem to be as quick as the number 7.
No, I wonder if they've been spooked by those penalties they've got for overusing their allowable power parameters, and they've had to go a little bit safer, and that very uncharacteristic error on cold tyres coming out the pits from Kevin Estre a couple of hours ago I think has cost them dearly. But Mathieu Jaminet, there's a twofold benefit here. If he can not only stay ahead of Blomqvist for them to stay on the lead lap, he can also, by doing so, slow down Blomqvist and allow his teammate to catch up. So this is real tactics could come into play here.
I just want to go back to something we were talking about earlier on, the GTD balance of performance changes, Jeremy. Issued by IMSA earlier in the week, but effectively negotiated by the manufacturers sitting around a table or on a Zoom call or whatever. This is something a little bit different for a major series. The series collects independently all of the data and puts it before manufacturer technical group, who, I don't know whether they do rock paper scissors or whatever. No, I'm sorry, I'm being facetious there. There was a raft of them, all bar the Lexus RCF got some kind of changes one way or t'other, but am I wrong in that they were announced by IMSA, but they were mandated by IMSA? Effectively they are, because it's the series, but they came about after the teams worked through the numbers.
Yeah, after manufacturers you have the technical working group, all the manufacturers are invited to play a role in that, and yes, they give their input, they basically thrash it out amongst themselves. If one of the manufacturers thinks they've got a deficit, they're going to persuade that they've got all the data, all the information is there in terms of downforce, acceleration, pit stop time, everything, you name it, it's there. And they have to kind of plead their case amongst each other to come up with the eventual on prompts, as you say. It was on all cars except for Lexus changed. The Ferrari, for example, it lost 10 kilograms of weight, and horsepower, you got a bit more power as well.
The Ferrari.
Yeah.
I think the Ferrari actually. I've got it.
Just let me research talking about
the Ferrari had 10 kilograms added. It had 4 kilowatts of power taken away. It had an extra degree of wing angle. No, power taken away, and an extra degree of wing angle, and a litre of fuel taken away from fuel capacity. So actually, the Ferrari was not back. So
just let me really say there's been a lot of talking between that manufacturer working group coming into this weekend. Lovely day, sunshine, great racing, and just under 1 hour. We're into the last 60 minutes, and there's, well, hardly anything at all between the front of the field as they've got the Porsche and the Cadillac battling it out. Tom Blomqvist leading the race at the moment. Meantime, in Porsche Penske Motorsport, Felipe Nasser is trying to close that gap. It's 3 seconds at the moment. 71 seconds, so a minute and 11 further back for Louis Delatraz and Chamonix. Another 20 odd seconds back. 13, call it 14 seconds between first and second in LMP2. Era 2. NPR CrowdStrike. GTD Pro at the moment is a little bit off because I think Sarah's got a pit stop to do. There's not actually a full lap between Reese and Abel.
Yes, there is.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Yes, there is. Yeah, because
last stop.
Yeah, there is. A full course yellow would potentially change that. Potentially,
depending on where the leader is.
Correct. But it all focuses now on a car that is trying to stay on the lead lap overall, and that's the number 60 Porsche Penske Motorsport machine of Mathieu Chamonix, trying to hold off Tom Blomqvist, the overall race leader. So very, very tight there at the front of the pack. And who on earth do we choose for our BDO No Strategy Award? I mean, one that's coming to me is the number 40 Wayne Taylor Racing with Andretti Autosport car, because they actually haven't had the outright pace. They've had a few technical issues. Remember, they've ground to a halt out on the track, and yet they're on the lead lap, and at the moment they're on the podium. Actually, I don't think that's my opening gambit for BDO No Strategy Award.
Chetelaar 47 Ferrari pit lane speeding violation. Just a click too quick, but that will bring them back onto pit lane for a drive through. Felipe Nasser absolutely tearing it up at the moment. That is the car that set the fastest lap of the race. With a 1:35.6, we're not getting near that at the moment in the heat of the day, but huge traffic for the leader as he tries to put a lap on Mathieu Chamonix.
Nasser dropped 0.2 of a second to Blomqvist on the last lap.
That's the first time for a while that he's been slower than the leader. 1:38.3 for Nasser, 1:38.1 for Blomqvist. It was the lap before. Now, dare I suggest that Chamonix here can do his mate a bit of favour.
I suggest it's exactly the same, I think, with me. If
He's allowed to fight to stay on the lead lap.
Exactly. If you're Porsche Penske Motorsport, you say, fight this like you've never fought before. Fight like this is for the main win. Because to be honest, if that number 6 machine for Porsche Penske Motorsport off the lead lap, and we don't get another full course caution, then they're done. So they have to stay on at all costs. And of course, in doing so, there is the biggest bonus ball of all, bringing the team car back in.
Spectacular stuff.
I'm inside the final hour now, aren't you, John?
Yeah, I've been for 5 minutes or so. And Nick Damon is in the pit lane, watching what should be the last pit stop for Paul Miller Racing.
Yeah.
It's not been a clean run in the pits for them.
No, we're about to get all the last stops for the GTD car. They trail around so they can get to the end from here. Now, the first one to come in and drive in was that Paul Miller, the white and red M4. It's the end of my vision, but obviously what I can see is the man on the front right, all he has done is look at the front right, he's not changing. They have offered 2 or 3 more tyres, and now it's got to work again. They are hoping to get the air, they're not worried about the tyre wear. Right at my feet now is the Porsche Mercedes, the number 32 car. That's Michael Friday getting out, getting in. They were offsetting 3rd and 4th, and we expect the opposite of the rest of the leading GT and GTD and GT Pro cars as they've now reached that point where they can get the end quite easily.
Nick Damon, that's crowd strike. Report. Wednesday night, CrowdStrike have run a data-driven analysis of every team up and down the pit lane, and those metrics will get crunched at the end of the race to give a winner. And we'll be announcing that on Wednesday on Midweek Motorsport, 8 o'clock UK, 3 PM Eastern Time. Just have another look at the Porsche keys to the race, Peter. Tyres, let's start with tyres. Everybody now will have new tyres till the end. That's what they've had to get to. I think everybody's done that. Traffic continues to be an issue. Yes, we've had 18 or so retirements, but it's still pretty busy out there. We can tick off Get the Breakfast and Beyond for those that are still running. The 2 ones that have really stood out for me have been calm, patience, and no penalties. There's been times when we've seen calm, and we've mentioned it where people, Catherine Lake, for example, at the start of the race, backed right out of it. A lot of penalties in the pits.
Huge amount, yeah. And very, very few for incident responsibility.
Yeah, we've only 1 or 2.
Yeah, which which shows that there's definitely been some good driving out there throughout the pack. Tyres, I think, is going to be the biggest one. Even if you do have fresh tyres, it's starting to get quite warm here at Daytona International Speedway. The air temperature is 23 degrees, but the track 37 degrees Celsius. And I think it'll keep climbing because we've got direct sunlight baking down on the tarmac here.
It's when it gets up towards about 50 that the tyre engineers get a bit twitchy. 50 is twitchy.
The number 6 car is no question about it holding up number 31 at this stage. The last 3 laps have all been in the 38s, 1 minute 38s, where the number 31 car was doing 36s, even all 37s. So the pace has been managed here, I think. Nothing egregious, certainly, but Matthew Jamais driving very driving with a plan. He wants to, he's pushing as hard as he can. He wants to stay on the lead lap, certainly, but he also wants to make sure there's no way that Cadillac can come past.
Last pit stop for the GTD leader. This is 57 Winward AMG, Nick.
Yeah, fortunately, really interestingly, they're not changing drivers. They're giving Daniel Moore out the run to the finish. That'll be a long run for him. Just coming round him now is the 21. I think he's done in Sarah that one. That's how far the lead was. About 25 to 30 seconds they had the lead. We have seen that the Ferrari is quickly sun. Daniel, full course caution. We've got a full course caution.
Yeah, we have. This is a huge fire on the front of the Lexus, the Vassar Sullivan car. And Joe Bradley has an idea, he knows what's happening. This was on pit out, the driver is out of the car, it's Parker Thompson. He's fighting the flames himself, Joe.
You know what, as the number 12's just been in the pits for a pit stop, and I think it's tyre people, when it sat there, the tyre people began to start to heat up and smoke started billowing from that left-hand front. One of the crew chiefs, literally, as the car was released, started shouting at the fact, alerting everybody to the fact that the left front corner was on fire. By then, of course, it was too late and the car was already on pit road and making its way out and onto the track, and this is what's happened now.
Parker out of the car, and that's put the fire out, actually.
Well done.
Great work for him. There were some marshals nearby who were on the wrong side of the right side, the inside of the armcore with extinguishers, and he's pulled up next to an extinguisher point and got as close as he could just before the pit exit there. Let's take a quick update of who and what was going on down the pit lane. Let's go back first of all to Joe Bradley.
Yeah, we had, I think, you know what, just snuck in there. Right on that yellow was the 62 GTD Pro Leader, the 62 Ferrari, was in the pits. I'm not sure whether he came in when it was still green and it went yellow as he came in, but whatever it is, that's his pit stop stood and done.
They might have timed that absolutely perfectly. As Joe said, it was left front on the Lexus. Let's see. Fire at pit out. Where's the 62? Oh no, they were
in and out. They were gone.
They were out just about 90 seconds. Out 90 seconds after the yellow was called. So that, I think, is going to be fine. Yes, Sarah. Woo. Full course yellow at 17:50.03. Daniel Serra at 50.03 came into the pits. Yeah, I think you get 3 seconds, don't you? So
he was in. Okay. No, he was in. He was definitely in. He was in, and then we saw it come up on race control. So that's, well, it's definitely been Reese's day. That's sometimes you get these. They've had, I mean, their drivers have done a flawless job. Let's be honest. They have just put fuel and tires in all day long, and they've just been fantastic. And that's played very, very well indeed for them. But let's see. I think what this could give us is a total fresh tire GTP shootout.
No strategy award still to come, and then on encourage the crowd strike, endurance, teamwork, and award. Let's go to Joe Bradley in the pit lane with Jimmy Vassar, man with the name above the door of that Lexus team.
Jimmy, it's been quite a character building Daytona 24 hours for you guys, but that was really unfortunate.
Yeah, it really was. You know, shit happens, right? But it's not the way you want to end it. Team did a great job. We were in position, hadn't made a mistake all 23 hours, pretty much.
Yeah,
did the best we could, kept the car rolling the whole time. The crew did a great job, drivers did a great job. It's just unfortunate to come away with not the points.
Yeah, guys, the Lexus just caught fire.
One of your crew guys actually noticed it. I mean, it was tyre pickup that built up heat in the stop, wasn't it?
No, we heard some sort of a bang underneath the hood, and so I think it was a plenum fire, but they happen sometimes, and but hey, all credit to the team, and you know, we'll come back to Sebring yard.
Jimmy, you guys, this is a bogey place for you guys. How are you going to break that hex?
To break it, we got to come back stronger next time. We got a Kaizen, right? You know, the 14 had very bad luck as well with the P2 driver spinning right in front of them. But all credit to the team. We came prepared as we could be, and just going home without any watches.
Yeah. Well, back and stronger next time, Jimmy. That's the spirit.
And back at Sebring for the Mobile 1, 12 hours, part of the 36 hours of Florida, if you will. Hello to Gary on 2 wheels. I've had to step into work this morning for a client pickup, but I'm not missing the end of this race. He's got it up on the excellent stuff. He's got it up on his laptop. Emergency service for Mercedes number 80, the Lone Star machine, and Nick Dearman has more from the pit lane.
Down at the 18 pit with Connor. Connor, your work is done, obviously, so with Freddie Robinson, but how does the team feel about this yellow flag? Didn't want to, you think neutral compared to the rest of the PT class?
Yeah, you know, it's probably not what we wanted, but, you know, Christian's in the car and there's nobody else I'd rather have in the car than him. He's done a great job all weekend, and, you know, I look up to him, and he's been a big help for me this weekend as well. So, you know, obviously it's nerve-wracking, and, you know, it's my first Rolex 24, so I want to win it, obviously, but, you know, I'm just glad to be here with Aero Motorsports. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me, and, you know, to be here at 17 years old competing in this prestigious event, so cool. So, you know, I'm looking forward to the last few minutes here, and hopefully we can come out of here with the Rolex.
I hope you haven't promised it, like your dad or something. You got to keep it, you know.
Oh, I'll keep it all right.
Are you surprised by the amount of driving you got today? Their team's really used you, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've done a good job with the team, and, you know, I've learned throughout the Roar and this week as well. So, you know, it makes me feel good that they trust me and they believe in me. And, you know, when we're racing the full season together, I appreciate having that trust and you know, that companionship. So, you know, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season with this team. It's been a pleasure so far, and, you know, hopefully we can end the year with a championship as well. Thank you.
One of the drives of the race, I would say, that young man. And it's going to be so tight for LMP2, because if you come in at this prototype pit stop, which is coming up very shortly, you fill up full with fuel. Depends when we go back to green, you'd have to do quite a bit of fuel saving, but it's going to be really tight, I reckon, Jeremy. I mean, what do you think? Could you get home without no more stops on an LMP2 car?
It's tight. No, they can come in now when the pits are open, and they should be fine, because the caution's going to go on for another 5 minutes or so. So yeah, that should be no problem for them.
And if they don't, they can come and speak to you later.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be fine.
Yeah, that's the words for the LMP2 teams to sing there. That's the words of Lee Diffie, sitting just off to my right. You'll recognise him. He's a little Australian. That wasn't Jeremy Shaw saying that at all.
Who said you're right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Looking for you. It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
We got there at the end, John. You're far too quick for us.
If I have to explain it, it's not working. It's not really. 44 minutes to go. Let's take a VP Fuel in-race update before any pit stops. And in fact, we can't do that because they've already decided to commit to the pit lane. Joe Bradley has the GTPs.
Yes, I have. The 31 Wheeland Cadillac comes in first, hits his pit stops, and then I'm looking for the 40 to just come around the side of it and then to my left. So let's just have a look at the tyre that's going on. Yeah, fresh set of tyres for Tom Blomqvist. Only fueling left on the 31, everything happening on the 40. We're getting the go-ahead for the 31, and then fuel under the flag, isn't it? No fuel saving, this is going to be flat out. Now they're all going to be together.
In LMP2 land, the CrowdStrike, the 04, that's going to be a full set of new boots and some fuel. It looks like Porsche's won the race off pit road. The 7 is ahead of the 34, and they frontal past us. The 18, that's the era company, Spoke Koenigsegg. He has come off so on board with Rasmussen. It's a set of tyres and fuel. The tower car has just dropped by feet. No one's changing drivers. They've also managed to take an extra set of tyres, haven't they, just to get to the end. And fuel as well. So I don't think there's going to be any major order change within the P2, just because all the gaps between them will have gone.
Well, there we are, another graphic illustration of teamwork. In the pit lane, Porsche and Penske Motorsport to take the lead.
And the reason for that, John, is because on the last round of pit stops, the Porsche came in 3 laps later than the number 31 car, so needed less energy, fuel, whatever you want to call it, to get to the end of the race. I think that was the difference there. In that slightly shorter pit stop, enables number 7 car to get ahead of the number 31. How critical is that going to be? Well, we've already seen that Tom Blomqvist he's on a mission, isn't he? And it's he stayed in the car, didn't he?
Yes.
Which really interesting, isn't it? That he's been given the preference over Pipo Derani for this final stint of the race. Just over 41 minutes remaining.
Let me just tell you that neither Nasser or Blomqvist went full fuel. That was a timed stop.
Of course.
Nasser has 75% of energy remaining as it stands now, and he's regenning like mad on the outlap. There's Blomqvist took 80, Delatraz 100, Chamonix 95, and Jimmy Bruni
hasn't yet pitted. He's just got the wave around, so he's going to
try and get the lap back. Yeah. Okay, that makes perfect sense. I presume Wesley is doing the same thing.
He's a couple of laps farther back.
Bruni here, this is going to be interesting for Jimmy, because he doesn't need a full set of energy either, and he's already got 30% energy stored up. So he probably, if he's going to go the same as NASA, he only needs probably another 40 maybe 45%, 35%. Here's the GTD cars coming in. Welcome back to the pit lane and the CrowdStrike Premium Porsche. Adam.
Thank you, can't keep me away. Rexy is getting new right side tires. Are they going to give Lauren Heinrich left sides? Of course they are, because they have them. So this means that Rexy will get the best opportunity he can to try and defend that second place, but he's got a blocked pit exit because the Forte Lamborghini, the first car to have an issue in this race, well, second technically to the AWA Corvette, but the first one to have contact out on the racetrack, is blocking their pit exit. So the AO crew knows that they are going to have to pull the car back. They do have a lap on the third place car, so they are able to take a little bit of time, but this is still an issue, and now he's leaving in traffic.
Significantly, but understandably, the 62 Racing Competizione Ferrari did not pit there because they had got in just before that yellow flag, so they keep their position on the track.
They do, but by coming in right before we went to yellow, that did enable number 77 car to get back on the lead lap.
Okay.
At the completely opposite end of the train.
Doesn't matter though, because well, actually it does matter, doesn't it? Because the 77 car won't be able to pass the other GTD cars. But wait a minute, yeah, it won't.
There'll be a lot of cars between the leading 62 Racing Ferrari and the AO Porsche. But if again you get another full course Porsche,
they do not split the fields in the GT out of the two GT cars.
No, they don't. Split GTs and Porsches.
It's a shame.
So come down to something like, I reckon, 35-minute sprint.
Thereabouts, yeah. I'm sure the AMR safety crew have had to work really hard under time pressure there, because a burnt out car is going to be all sorts of nasty stuff there to get cleaned up. Great job for them.
Fair play to Martin Thompson. Put the car out to all intents and purposes, but he pulled it off to the left as far out of the pit lane exit as he could do. We said this earlier on, a fire in a racing car gets your attention very quickly indeed, and being a left-hand drive car, that was right in front of Parker. He'd have seen that and have been working out where he could get to where there was a fire point, where he knew there were extinguishers. It's something that you do on the track walk, you walk around, you look to see where the markings are on the wall, where the fire stations are, and you keep those in your head. Some drivers, and this was mentioned to me some years ago, if you can try and use the fire areas, the painted areas to tell you where the fire bottles are, try and use them as part of your orientation of the track. So if it's, you know, 2 concrete blocks beyond the fire, and then you keep the fire thing in your head for when you need it.
Yeah. That full course caution is exactly what the number 6 Porsche Penske Motorsport team were just praying for with everything, because that gets them back on the lead lap and really in the lead bunch.
So bad news for Acura.
Yes, it is very bad news for the Wayne Taylor Racing with Andretti, number 40 Acura, they've had to fight uphill all race long. They haven't quite had the pace of Porsche and Cadillac, and of course had that technical issue with Louis Delatraz. Did a great job to get the car kick-started again and back moving, but so it's not been the cleanest of runs. But to be on the lead lap with 36 minutes to go, I actually think they would take that.
Yeah. Who's sorry?
The 40 Acura.
40, yes, absolutely true. Here comes number 5 car now, Jimmy Brune. He got the wave around. He's hustled around. He's going to make his pit stop now. It'll just be as John Handoff was just saying, it's a time stop, a time stop, just a splash of fuel. Really, the question is whether he can catch up with the back of the pack before we go back to green.
Shea Adam is watching.
He hits his marks. There we go. Fuel nozzle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a longer stop. They've done right side tires, but also in is the 85. Let's see how long they do. Now, they're time stops, but they are longer stops still. They're stops that are long enough to change all 4 tires for both of these Porsches.
70-80% energy for Jimmy Bruni, so that's more than everyone More than the two leaders, they've only got 75%. Della 25% in third. Chamonix is 90%. Bruni 80%. Westbrook another further couple of laps back on 90. Hustle round in time to get the prototype class split. That'll be the question. Well, that's great news for Bruni.
Yeah, he should be fine. I think he'll be able to make up that ground. He's just going around the international horseshoe now.
He gets to go past the lapped cars, so he will be 8th in line.
And he'll actually be getting his tyres up to some really good temperature pressure.
Yeah,
he'll be absolutely flat to the boards right now. In fact, he's just had a huge lock up.
Off the road.
Oh, he's
turning off the road.
He's making turn right instead of left there.
Right hand down.
Everybody missed the Barry. He's gonna struggle now to catch up the pack, I think.
And he may have damaged his brand new Michelin tyres. He's absolutely flying down towards the Le Mans chicane. So this is the black Mustang sampling car we're talking about going into the braking area for the Le Mans chicane now. Goes through it, no hint of a lock up there, so that's good exit. The safety car is at the western horseshoe, and the safety car lights in the sunshine. Look, the Beholmes, he's flat out across the start finish line as he's trying to get back onto the back of the queue of cars. Well, he told off if he does, Perez for that little mistake. I don't think it's going to cost him.
I think it probably cost him 5 seconds.
GT cars, and there's still the split. The split is still just about going on. He'll get to go past the P2s as well if he gets a hustle on. Here he comes out of turn 5, the Western Horseshoe. He'll be on the back of the GTD cars. It's a question of how far up the prototype grid he can get. There's some cars weaving behind the Cadillac safety car as they go through the Le Mans chicane. I don't think he's going to get all the way to the back of the GTP field here as the safety car, the Cadillac, the silver Cadillac, pulls away. Here comes Bruni. He's not quite on the back of the GTD cars yet, but here he goes at the absolute flat out, and he comes through. He's up on the wall. He goes past a few of the cars, and now he's gone past up to about the midfield. He's not going to catch the prototypes. At what point does he have to stay where he is and freeze the field? He's round the outside. This looks like something from a movie. He is going to catch them, you know. He's going to come past the GT now. He's not going to be a million miles off, but he's about 3 or 4, no, a little bit more cars away as he comes through now. He's coming on the Corvette.
And ran a bit wide on the exit.
That 5 seconds of Fubar has absolutely cost Bruni, and he's now still fighting through traffic in the front of the field.
Contact between the 04 Pro Strike LMP2 and one of the BMW GTPs, number 24. Oh, that's not what the 04 team won in LMP2 with Malte Jakobsen.
This is the second place car we're talking about, been battling with Era all the time. Daniel Serra still 6 seconds to the good, so down at turn 1. Porsche going right round the outside, gets a little hip check. Oh, gets a hip check going in there from the Acura, the number 40 car.
Where's the Dylan drives there?
No, I'm going to squeeze down. I'm going to take that back and sing it from the overhead. But that was a bit of a nudge. It's a restart. How are they going to see that? Could be crucial. Malte Jakobsen down the inside trying to take the lead in LMP2. He was alongside the Era car.
Yeah, look, I mean, the LMP2 cars are quicker through the corners than the GTP cars. GTP cars are a lot heavier.
Well, take your pick. I think the Era car hit it as well, actually. Yeah. And I've seen that from above. Yeah. I think it could be either of those two. So let's get back to the front of the field with 30 minutes to go. 21 and a half hours of practice and qualifying, half an hour race.
Well, and it was that great work from the Porsche Penske Motorsport team in the pits. They've got the jump on the number 31 Cadillac. Tom Blomqvist for Whelen Engineering Cadillac has been given the honour and the trust to finish this race off.
important raft of penalties. 2 for the Lone Star, number 18, running the red light and in properly served emergency service. They'll have to come back down the pull in again. They're doing it now. And the 7840 Lamborghini pit lane speed violation, they're coming down as well. At the front of the field, Nasser from Blomqvist, from Delatraz, from Chamonix, they're all on the lead lap. Jimmy Bruni, 11 seconds further back, will be cursing that slight mistake. Cursing it.
That was the difference, wasn't it?
It was,
that was all it was. But he had to push though. He really had to push. He had to get those tyres up to temperature and pressure. And who knows, you never know, there might be another caution in here too. But with the being such a... No, I'm not saying want it or not, but it's certainly possible. We've seen it in the past. But this is going to be a straight shootout between the number 7 and the number 31, the Porsche Penske Motorsport car, and the Whelen Cadillac. Two manufacturers, two quite different technical philosophies. The Multimatic chassis underneath the Porsche with a 4.6 litre twin turbo V8. Then you've got the big 5.5 naturally aspirated V8 in the Delari chassis Cadillac.
Hashtag Michelin PRT post-race tech. It's a warning, just a warning for the CrowdStrike car. I think that's good officiating. I do. Matthew Jacobsen will be getting told that. I hope he gets told that, because that will be a sigh of relief for the young man at the front of the field. Jeremy closing up again.
Yeah, it certainly is, and really down tries to feel busy, just turned that accurate fastest lap of the race. It's at 5.9. 5.67 yards, so he's actually a couple of tenths of difference, but he's on a charge. Really bad luck for number 80 car, Lone Star Racing Mercedes. Boy, they've done a fantastic job. It was such a elite deal coming together. The fourth driver, Adam Christopher, we were told about 5 days before he had to get here to come along. I mean, they actually leading the class prior to that final yellow. Unfortunately, they had to make full circuit again to take on emergency service, then had to do a penalty for that, and they got another penalty because they ran a red light as well. So the shot ran out of contention, but it's been a brilliant run by Lone Star Racing.
Adam only found out 5 days before to get here. It took 2.5 days to get back because he was on holiday. Yeah.
Amazing. 4 counts, all sorts of dramas. All his gear was in London as well.
He's flying here. Yeah. He's followed that fastest lap of the race car up with some really strong sectors. Now another good lap in third.
Remember this time yesterday, or just a little bit later, coming off pit stops and restarts, the Acura was actually quick,
and he's got more usable energy. He has the rest. So right now, according to our telemetry, Felipe Nasser and Rolex 60% each.
5, Bruni 60. I suspect that's because he was absolutely caning it, trying to get through the traffic. So the top 3 then coming back together.
And well, in LMP2, Minnesota forecast for the Friday, just got past Tom Dillon in number 52 on the last lap, 4th, 3rd position. Right behind Tom Dillon is Scott McDonald in car number 8 for Tower Motorsport as well.
And in GTD Pro, Daniel Serra has a 14-second lead on the number 77 AO Porsche. But GTD, Daniel Moran and Miguel Morena are right together, 2.5 for the 57. That's the Winward AMG, and the 21 Molina car is, of course, the Ferrari BTO nose strategy. Well, where do you start with this one? Where do you start with this one? Who's got it right and who's got it wrong? Has Delatraz got it right? And the accuracy, they've got more energy than everyone else, and they're making use of that at the moment to close down on the 2 leaders.
Took out Delatraz, and a second that Nasser took out Delatraz. So Delatraz is dragging every bit of performance he can out of that number 40 way to the racing of Almighty Acura. But this Porsche and this Cadillac at the front, they are just so strong.
Coming through to 25 minutes to go. Nasser 135.7 last time, Blomqvist 135.9, 136.6 for Delatraz, so maybe just easing his pace a bit.
Well, I mean, a little bit on that last lap, so Felipe Nasr's last lap, as you said, 35.7. That's 1/10 of a second away from his best lap of the race, which is the best lap of the race.
Nasr's in full attack. How many times have we seen this in IMSA competition over the years?
Something to think about here for the PTO Nor's strategy. Tip-centric strategy for the number 7, Felipe Nasr. Get them to the lead. What about the 40? Taylor Racing with Andretti Autosport car hasn't had the pace, but they've kept themselves in the running.
The fastest lap of the race there for Tom Blomqvist, 1:35.554 for the number 3 Cadillac, and that is a new lap record. He had the record last year in the Acura of 35.616.
Also, what about 57 in this car? There'd be more pace than strategy. Confirmation then, 1:35.554 for Tom Blomqvist.
And that's got a 10th quicker, or just under a 10th quicker, than Blomqvist is the best lap of the race last year in the Acura from Arshank Racing. The bar keeps being raised.
23 minutes to go. Half seconds back. A second now between Rasmussen and the 18th year car at LMP2 and Jacobsen. Has he been slightly shaken by that incident with the BMW? Has he done damage to the front end of that 04 crowd strike car? He's got Felipe Ferrari not that far behind him in the Ranch 74 Riley.
Yep. The two leaders were a little bit quicker than Fraga on that last lap, actually about 3/4 of a second faster on that last lap.
Here's the traffic, Jeremy. Let's see who negotiates this. Traffic giveth, traffic taketh away. This is where the dice needs to be rolled. I would say that Blomqvist has got a bit more grip in his car. He's closed right in there. That was a completely different line through turns 1 and 2, and he's there. He's under the rear wing of the Porsche as they go through the International Horseshoe for the 779th time. 8:33 is the lap record. We're not going to get near to that, but this is going to be a good run, and it's going to be a proper race to the finish, grandstand finish. Yes, I think so.
Just dropped Taylor Cross and Chamonix, no problem at all. These two drivers here, Felipe Nasr and Tom Blomqvist there, the tires. We've seen how good the Cadillac is on the long run. Is that going to play a factor here?
Track temperature over 100 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. And the screens who are involved with these two cars.
That's the case, but I thought it was
actually, he's a very, very generally speaking happy person. Very jolly. But he is a ferocious cockpit. Tom Blomqvist, that's a turn up BMW, and he closes up on the leader again. He gets a little bit of wheel spin on the curb on the right hand side. More traffic ahead. Leader goes around the outside door, that's clean. On the banking. More traffic ahead, but that won't actually play any part. The two leaders are pushing. They are now 20% worse off than Delatraz in third.
Yeah, but they're a second lap quicker. I'll take the second lap quicker. Thank you very much. They were 20 minutes ago. I think they should have, unless they've made a major calculation, they should have.
Forest, Delatraz 65, 60 for Chamonix. Bruni, who had more than all of them except for Delatraz, is now also down to 45.
With 20 minutes to go, these guys can do 55 minutes or 50 minutes laps and then flat out, so no problem with that.
AO99 going slowly around the circuit. There's been a mishap for the LMP2 car of Paul-Luc Chatin, 8th position. The LMP2 slow lap last time around at 2 minutes 10.
It's still going slowly, just going over the tri-oval now, heading to turn 1, so I think that is a 6 spike. Dragon.
Tom Tillman puts the Europol number 52 Orica's fastest lap in last time around and backs it up another quick lap through the traffic. He's trying to chase down leaders in traffic in turn 6. Literally, the car's driving off the track to stay out of the way of this lead battle. The rest of the field know what's going on here. They're spectators, but some of them are involved and embroiled in their own battle for victory.
Battle for third in LMP2 is really intense. Now Rasmussen's got a good edge. He's pulled out 3 seconds over Jakobsen, who's similarly 3 seconds over Fraga. But Fraga is on Dillman and Scotty McLaughlin rocking with him.
The Le Mans chicane really went in favour of Felipe Nasr there. Blomqvist getting stuck behind a GT car right in the middle of that left chicane, and that was critical.
It could cool down to a bit of traffic. Thanks for being
4/10.
Thanks for being with us. If you're just joining us now, you've come to the party just as the presents are being unwrapped. Perfect timing.
Fashionably late.
Around the world at RS2, 107.9 WDIS at the track, Sirius XM, channel 207, and of course in sound and vision on the World Food TV and IMSA.TV. Thanks for being with us as we are counting down to another grandstand finish here at the Daytona International Speedway and the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Our spectators now, they are hooked to the screens. They're looking at the splits, listing their drivers, trying to work out if they can perhaps eke an advantage somewhere. But they've done their job. They cannot influence this anymore. It's the spotter and the driver and the gods of racing that will decide who win this race. The leader's going to get blocked here slightly coming out of the Le Mans chicane, goes on the high side of one of the Ferraris, just about squeezed through between the safer barrier and that red machine.
The Cadillac is a little bit closer to the side now, isn't it?
It is
to try oval.
not close enough, Jeremy. I don't think quite picking up enough of a draft. Drops in behind the racing car to try and get a little draft from the GT. Half a second or thereabouts. Closes in under brakes, Blomqvist. But Nasr is doing a grand job, but he's using more energy.
Engine's not, I don't think energy honestly really is an issue at this stage, John. I think they've got plenty to get to the end from here. It's just a question of working their way through the traffic and looking for any opportunity to make a pass, which is not going to be easy, that's for certain.
No way. Meanwhile, in LMP2, Christian Rasmussen for Aero Motorsport has hit the afterburners. He's 4.8 seconds in the lead. Wow.
Yeah, well, the battle between Dillman and Fraga is on.
And right behind them also, actually, McLaughlin's just
Let's go through.
ahead of Dillman.
Scott McLaughlin goes through with the Tower Motorsport Oregon, the orange and black number 8, and he now takes the battle for the third spot on the podium to Felipe Fraga, 0.6 of a second. There's less than a second between third, fourth and fifth there in LMP2. Leaders through the Le Mans chicane, no traffic this time around them. In fact, no traffic now as they're on the banking, no traffic till the exit of turn 1. So now we'll see who's got the advantage. The Cadillac just tantalisingly outside of where it will get the most draft.
Yeah, and you've got the Porsche just moving around.
Yeah, that's smart.
Trying to break that draft.
I think that's smart from Nasr. He's also taking the shorter line through the tri-oval. Do I want to put too much lock on the steering and scrub off precious speed? They're getting up to close on to 200 miles an hour there, 197, 198 miles an hour. No real rain to speak of, but the cars are looking battle-scarred and dusty. There's been a couple of off-track moments for pretty much all of the GTPs.
35.924 for Felipe Nasr, the race leader last time out, his best. I went 35.6, so he's just 0.3 of a second off the fastest lap of the racing set, really about 15 laps ago. And Tom Lucas, he was just about 1/10 of a second slower on that last lap.
And McLaughlin's on the podium in LMP2. He's gone past Fraga. He's 7 seconds on. He's dropped back again. Those two are having a cracking scrap, but they are gaining on Jakobsen, even as they scrap into the pit lane. Very slowly indeed for the Spike. We know that car's been going slowly. AL number 99, not the finish that they wanted in that car.
So 13 minutes to go, and there's so much at stake here.
Fastest battle, by the way, GTD as well. See if we can pick those guys up. Morad and Molina, there's more of them from the Le Mans chicane at the moment. 21 with the red and white stripes on the roof. It's Miguel Molina in the Ferrari.
Yeah, that's a cursing that yellow flag.
Oh yeah.
Did not need that.
Fastest lap of the GTD race goes to is held at the moment rather by Molina with a 45.8. She's done a 46.3, 46.6 for Daniel Morad. What a drive it's been from Morad.
He's got reverse flying too, isn't he?
He's been outstanding every time he's been in that triage competition. The number 023, the dark red Ferrari.
That one driver for nothing.
Well,
he's got consequences left him. Can't show you there in GTD. It's for third place in the class, but to Jean van der Linde in the pro car, which is right ahead of Albert Costa in the 34th row for Conquest Racing. Then a Triazzi car that's gone back into the picture really fast in this last stint of the race. The Cyril Rivera. And back in the fifth position now is Hendrik Cook in the Corvette Preston Motorsports entry. Mercedes.
Don't forget the checkered flag ends the race but starts the conversation. Michelin post-race tech to come exclusively on IMSA Radio. Hashtag Michelin PRT to @IMSA Radio. Your thoughts, comments, points are rising. Big bats or bouquets, we'll take them all. The original post-race show is Michelin PRT. For after the race checkered flag. NASA by 8/10 of a second.
There's history going to be made here either way. Felipe Nasr has won this race before in class, never overall. Team Penske or Porsche Penske Motorsport, Penske have won this race overall since 1969 in the Lola. So for them it would be huge. For Porsche it would be a record 19th overall win here at Daytona. It's been a long time since they've had an overall win here, but it's so there is huge amount. If Bloomquist were and the Whalen crew were to win, Bloomquist would win 3 Rolex watches in a row,
matching the record of last year his teammate Helio Castroneves.
Let's be honest.
High stakes.
He's only got 2 missed. What's he going to do? Put one on his apple. 10 minutes to go. Rasmussen, 2.5 seconds to the good in the Nero car, the crowd strike car, and the Jakobsen.
Right, so it's turned out a little bit. It was out to 4 seconds, all of a sudden it came down to 2,
yeah.
And now Rasmussen has found another 3.5 tenths on that last lap to put it out to 2.5 seconds.
Teletraz is going to have to watch his mirrors now because Chamonix is under 2 seconds behind him for the third step on the overall and GTP podium. He was a couple of tenths quicker last time around. It's 1.4 seconds now. Oh, this is all getting very, very tight indeed. Morad and Molina in GTD, the 57 AMG, the black and blue car ahead of the red Ferrari with the red and white stripes on the roof. 1.7 seconds.
Isn't it interesting that Mathieu Chamonix, having got that break with that caution, unable to really challenge Teletraz in the Acura, he doesn't have the same sort of pace it would appear as his teammate Felipe Nasr.
36.6 last time for Chamonix, 36.3 for Felipe Nasr. Or how Chamonix can do with those extra 3 tenths of pace at the moment. This is as close as we've seen the Cadillac for a little while in the battle for first with 8 3/4 minutes to go. Up to high speed for the Le Mans chicane. Cadillac has to keep going for these gaps. Hitting the curb nicely. Out of the final part of the Le Mans chicane. What do you say about this race, gentlemen? What do you say?
He's got back past Stellar.
Yes, correct. And it's now right on the tail of Felipe Fraga again, because those three are pretty much together. There's less than a second between them.
LMP2, but definitely so competitive, so competitive.
That's a battle for the first time on the box.
Incredible, yeah, exactly. I mean, the 18 era car that leads by 3.3 seconds from Malcolm Jacobsen in the 04 CrowdStrike car, that gap's come down a touch, but it really has been those two cars and indeed their young guns that have impressed so much in this 24-hour race.
BTO knows strategy.
Is the strategy find young guns?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's a fair point. You've got to use what you've got. Find the super silvers or the brilliant bronzes. You know, maybe, not maybe. That is part of it. Leader to the inside of the Iron Dames. No impediment for either of the first two cars. Porsche versus Cadillac at Daytona. Echoes of glory days with a huge crowd, a record crowd here for the 2024 Rolex 24 Hours at Daytona. The GTPs burst onto the scene last year. We wondered if they'd even make the end of the race. Could an LMP2 car sneak a victory? And the GTPs over the course of the season and here at Daytona entertained us royally. Well, they've clicked it up a notch this year, Peter.
They bet they have, as is Tom Lundquist. He's 3/10 up coming at the end of sector 2 on this lap as they come up towards the stripe again. It is just yo-yoing back and forward. That Porsche 963 at the very top, right into 7th gear. It's just got that ever so slight speed advantage.
A little bit long. The lead Porsche there. There was a tiny moment, and I mean a tiny moment. You could just see the car snaking as Felipe Nasser was trying to pull the car down to the apex of turn 1. This is now coming down to the finest of margins. 6 minutes to go in the race. So that's going to be about 4 laps, possibly 5.
I don't know. Spirit thoughts for the teams, the families, the drivers who are in the pit, they're watching between their fingers. Just have a think what they're going through right now. Felipe Nasser's teammates, Matt Campbell, Joseph Newgarden, and what would it mean to them to get none of the drivers in this number 7 car in the race overall? So to win overall here would be a real highlight in for a very close me in this car too.
It's true.
This is close. This is half a second coming out of the Le Mans chicane is as close as Blomqvist has been. He'll pick up a little bit of tone from the GT car. It's still not enough. He needs to be maybe 2.5 tenths, maybe even closer than that, as Nasser pulls out from half a second into a second, but again struggles to pull the car down to the apex of turn 1. He's got the AO Porsche number 77 right ahead of him. He gets through on the inside. Blomqvist's got to go here and he's not going to make it. He'll have to swing round and then tighten the exit. That will cost him some speed on the infield.
Lauren Heinrich, part of the Porsche family, and didn't give the car that much favours there, did he?
I've got to tell you, I think that Porsche's running out of grips, Jeremy.
Yeah, Felipe Nasser's second place on 2 occasions here for Nasser. Each time he set the fastest lap of the race. He hasn't got the fastest lap of the race here, but he is an idiot. He made that trade.
No, absolutely. 2 to go or 3 to go here. It's going to be very close.
Let's see. Nasser is getting out of the slower corners very impressively. It was the great Bob Wally, wasn't it, who always used to say, if you're brave and your car's set up, you can get through the quick corners quickly. And if you can get through and out of the slow corners better than you opponents, you're in those slow corners longer. That's where you make up the time.
This was a guy that had to put down the huge horsepower of the 935s and 962s, big turbocharged monsters, and traction out of corners or something that was definitely at a premium there.
Traffic again for the lead-up, swings to the high side. Here comes the Cadillac flashing the lights down into turn one again.
This is going to be so tight, whether it's 2 to go from here or 3. Really tight.
I think
Catching traffic is the wrong line.
Too close to call. It was about
will be
312
the
when it
white
came on.
flag next time around.
Okay.
So there's just under 7 miles to go for the 2024 Rolex 24 hours, and they are both down to 10% of the. That was tighter than we thought, but I think it'll be alright.
All right, guys, the leaders are exiting the infield right there. The number 7 Porsche, the number 31 Cadillac, just over 11 and a half to go.
Excuse me, the white flag has come out now. The white flag is out now, so this is the last lap.
Oh,
I have no clue.
No, it's been shown to the GT cars.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be.
Okay.
Well, I'm now confused. I heard the call from race control, and I presume that was for next time around. It was,
We've still got almost 2 minutes on the clock. That's double time.
indeed so. I can see the white flag being waved now. So this is Felipe Nasser coming round.
there they go. Oh, he's got it.
Final time, the checkered flag is out, and the 2024 Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona goes to Porsche by about a second from Blomqvist in second place. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of confusion here, and there's still time on the clock by my watch.
What?
I think they've timed that to 40 to 1340, but we didn't quite get away at 1340. We were attacking.
Oh, we're still racing. What the heck?
So
It's not going to make any difference because on that last lap,
The Cadillac slowed down. The Porsche is still going. What the hell?
There's 2 seconds between us across the line.
Early.
let's just wait for the LMP2s to come through. There's no sign of celebration down in the pit lane. Down the celebration. We'll go to Shay and Joe in a moment for. No, they've stopped again down in the pit lane. This is extraordinary. We promised you 24 hours.
The Cadillac's now fourth.
Drama at the end of the race as well. Here comes the
I don't know.
Rasmussen era car.
But if it's not, he's
This
at
is the
fourth.
blue and silver machine. It's going to be about 7 seconds over. Crowd strike through.
What the heck is going on, guys?
And we'll take LMP2.
They're still racing like it's on.
Daniel Serra for Racing Competition has won in GTD Pro because Aero Racing has taken the checkered flag, and it'll be between Daniel Morad and Miguel Molina in Conquest. Here they come again to the line with the checkered flag. So they've now won it twice in one afternoon. And there's a lot of celebration. Confirmation then. Era Motorsport take LMP2.
I don't know.
Competition, Ferrari, GTD.
Cadillac might be out.
Inward racing for GTD.
I've never seen that
Let's go to
before.
Shea Adam first of
I've
all
never
for
seen
some
that
reaction.
before.
Gonna have to climb over the wall to try and get back to our drivers because they did not come out to the pit lane with all the crew guys who very mutedly waited on the pit wall for an opportunity to celebrate and celebrate it properly. But now the hump up has begun. Matt Campbell is walking out to the wall to celebrate with his guys.
I am not sure what the heck just happened.
He's being carried off, John.
Hey man, it's great meeting you. Yeah, I'll come down there with you.
Let's go to GTD.
All right, guys. I don't know who actually finished second and third. If that indeed was not the last lap, then the Cadillac is out.
Oh, amazing. What a team, what